Hello, I'm BMillzebub and welcome to my channel. I'm sure you're curious about the re-upload of this video. I was asked by a couple of people to remove their contribution to the original and I chose to respect their wishes. I won't be explaining here, the chat, or in the comments why they asked to be removed. Suffice it to say, their reasons are their own. But there are still plenty of amazing women who remained a part of this project, and these are their experiences online. By the way, since this is the first and last time you'll hear from me in this video, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to all of them. You can find links to their relevant platforms where they do most of their work down in the description below.
And if you ask me, our days are numbered, falling one by one. It seems to me somewhere we blunder with blind faith and trust.
Hello, I'm Erin Lewis, your Brazen Atheist, and recently I was asked to share my experiences as a woman online with an opinion. And my experiences so far have actually been pretty positive. I spent 20 years as an exotic dancer, and so I'm pretty used to being not taken seriously, accused of not being that bright, or being objectified. And that has really not been my experience so far online. What I have really gotten mostly has been a lot of support. I've learned a lot of new things about other faiths. I grew up Catholic, so I kind of assumed that everybody was Catholic also, or grew up that way. And so that has been really enlightening for me. I've met a lot of really positive people. And of course, there has been a couple of negative experiences here and there. I've had a couple of people, attack me because obviously I'm an atheist. I've had people attack my former job as not valid. Of course, people have called me slutty and made all of the stereotypical assumptions. But I was pretty much prepared for that. So none of it really caught me off guard. And the vast majority of my experiences have been very supportive and positive. I have been really surprised that I didn't get any dick pics in my private messages. So that has forced me to consider the fact that I might not be nearly as attractive as I think I am. And that is not an invitation, by the way. Please know that if you do happen to send me an inappropriate message, I will likely show as many people as possible right after I block you. Other than that, that has really been my experience online. I'm pretty happy with what I've gone through so far, and I actually look forward to having many more positive experiences online.
Hey guys, so I was asked to make a 2 to 3 minute clip discussing what it's like to be a female woman thing on social media. I am on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and I get a decent amount of exposure. However, I only have like 350 subscribers, so I feel like for me, I don't really get a whole lot of backlash or criticism at all, much less specifically about my gender. Maybe if I had more subscribers and more followers, I would have a bigger issue, but I haven't really seen a whole lot myself. I know other women have, but I personally haven't. But whenever I do, I make atheist content, and I feel like that's why I get these type of men. But the type of men I do get are Christians. I know not all Christian men are like this. I just so happen to attract the wrong Christians to my channel, and I always get the "you should be pregnant barefoot in the kitchen" kind of bullshit, and I'm so glad that I only get those comments like that every now and then. Normally people like to DM me, which honestly, I prefer people DMing me versus making public comments, because then I can just block them and not have to worry about it again. But my gender hasn't been much of an issue. However, my age has been a huge issue. I am currently 17 years old, and I started social media shortly after I turned 16, if I remember correctly. If you look at my Atheist Godless Unicorn channel, I think the earliest video that is uploaded is from October of last year. However, I had others uploaded, I just deleted them. I didn't like them. So it's pretty young starting YouTube. I am pretty young. And I get a lot of people saying bullshit like I'm too young to understand what I'm talking about, which I think is funny because age does not equal wisdom. That's how I see it. But I also find it funny and slightly ironic. I don't know if ironic is the right word. I'm just a stupid kid. But people, when I ask, well, can you help me understand? They don't. And that just kind of annoys me, because do not tell me I don't understand something and then not try to help me understand it, because to me that just says you don't know what you're talking about. And then even if I am right, I still have people telling me I'm wrong just because of my age, even when I am right. So for me, my age while being on social media is a much bigger issue than my gender. But again, maybe if I had more exposure, I'd get more sexist pigs on my channel. But anyways, I hope that helped.
Okay, so what is it like as a woman on the internet? And I've been racking my brain on this one for a while, trying to find something, I don't know, profound, Moses on the mountain sort of thing. And the more I think about it, the more I think there's really no profundity to be had. The way it's feeling to me is being a woman on the internet is much the same as being a woman not on the internet. Online or offline, I'm not taken seriously on the account of my gender. Online or offline, I am largely ignored because I am not young and pretty. Online or offline, I do experience harassment. The difference I find is one of scope. Rather than experiencing these things simply on the streets of Pittsburgh, in my neighborhood, I'm getting it from all over the world. And I think the volume of this sort of thing is what is really significant. Is it's really wearing on the nerves at times, but this is what I deal with because I am putting myself out there. I'm turning the equipment on, and hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am the Lavender Lady, and the moment I do that, I make myself available for targeting. And I mean, there are, that's the sort of thing I deal with, and I think we all deal with, we women, and we do the best we can. We get through day to day and take it from there. I mean, we decided to go out there and make ourselves known, make our opinions known, expose ourselves to ridicule. Really, yeah, it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. But it is. And that's pretty much the way it is. So much for that. Thanks for letting me bloviate. We'll take it from there.
Hi everyone. everyone. So I'm just going to quickly talk about some of the challenges that I have faced being a woman on the internet, especially mostly being on Twitter. So I know that a lot of people face a lot of discrimination online, but I'm just going to talk about the two main things that I have basically faced while being online and having communications with people. So one of the main things is people tend to really criticize like your physical appearance when you're having an argument with them and they see it's not really getting anywhere and they're not going to actually convince you of anything or win the argument or anything like that. Like the first thing that they usually go to is the way I look. So what has been happening constantly is basically people saying that I am a trans woman, so that I was born biologically male and I transitioned to a woman, which is not the case. Like I was born biologically female, but for some reason in their heads, it just gives them more validation to think that I apparently transitioned. And it's one of the oddest insults to me because there's nothing wrong with being a trans woman. It's just that for some reason, like I think they just feel that there is no possible way that I could have an opinion because I was born biologically female. So they have to make up this stupid narrative that I was born a man. The other big thing that I have faced online is unsolicited images from quite a few people. My DMs sometimes are crazy, from just really weird men sending me really weird pictures. I have gotten a bunch of pictures of people's genitals, people commenting on like my boobs or my ass, or saying that they want me to send them nudes, or just sending absurd messages. And most of the time, like, I don't reply and I just like ignore it, and then they would like get progressively more like aggressive because I'm not replying to them, and then all of a sudden it turns from hey baby to you're a bitch and a slut, which makes absolutely no fucking sense. But yeah, that is two of the main things that I have basically faced, just basically people trying to invalidate my opinion because I'm a woman, and people just being extremely obnoxious and sending all kinds of just unnecessary things to me.
So what's it like to be a woman with an opinion on the internet? I'm guessing many people just want to hear about the bad stuff. The condescension, the unwanted sexual advances, the belittling, the dehumanizing insults. Well, yes, those things happen. Even with my small following, I still get at least one sexual DM a week. And people are condescending and insulting all the time. Let's face it, Twitter is a fucking cesspool. But I want to first talk about the positives. I love having a voice online, being able to contribute to the conversation and growing and sharing my knowledge and ideas. Our community thrives on ideas, and as someone who craves a greater knowledge of the universe, I love being a part of that. The openness and welcoming nature of the majority of the people in our online family is amazing. And it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I have made so many lovely friends in this community. Friends who have jumped to my defense even when I didn't realize I needed them to. Either because I was asleep at the time, or I was busy with something in the non-internet world. So what are the bad stuff? I've had sexist comments and anti-LGBTQ harassment. I've been belittled for being a woman and called a ditzy woman in one breath from a right-wing Christian conservative, while in the next breath being told I'm not really a woman at all. It's almost like these people don't even care what they are saying as long as they can attack you and demean you. And I know the guys out there get this too, but if you're a woman online, it's like they think you're fair game. The most shocking thing is that some of the worst comes from other women online. Women so deeply entrenched in their ideology and religion that they no longer care that it's another woman they are attacking, as long as they can diminish you in some way. Then of course we have the chasers and the pervs. And I don't mean those that like a friendly flirt and a bit of banter. Those people I love. They are amazing and some of the best friends I have made online. I mean the dick pic senders and the phone number chasers and the creeps who DM you just ask to see your tits. I block and ignore them, but they still keep coming. But all in all, I wouldn't want to not be a part of this community. The bad always comes with the good, and I'm just glad that the good is so heavily outweighing the bad.
As if being a woman with an opinion in a face-to-face conversation wasn't hard enough, being one online can be especially difficult. There is an expectation for women to be silent and or pleasant all of the time, on and offline. Even on topics that have little to do with many men, like menstruation, bras, pregnancy, etc. Even when we do express such opinions, we have to put everything into the most polite and palatable terms possible, and never, ever contradict a man. If we do, then we have to keep going back and forth with him, maintaining a professional level of calm and grammatical excellence. Because if we stop replying, or become emotional, or say or write a single word wrong, we are too emotional or irrational or unintelligent, and therefore our opinion is invalid. This sort of back and forth is annoying and exhausting, as we have to do it offline too. But the internet also provides a cloaking device that may make women feel more comfortable, brave enough to be able to express their opinion online. Yet it also makes people who disagree more comfortable with expressing their distaste for women who do. Women with opinions may receive messages or comments with threats of physical and sexual violence, personal attacks which have nothing to do with their opinion or actual knowledge on the subject, rather that their level of physical attractiveness somehow affects their ability to think. An attractive woman could not possibly be intelligent, but an unattractive woman could not possibly sell her opinion because she isn't pretty enough. Because while men may just have opinions, women are expected to be able to sell their opinions and prove that they have one, a valid one. It is so frustrating and terrifying to be a woman with an opinion online that for many years I tried not to have one. I would not share anything political or divisive online because doing so would make me a target, not only for what I thought, but how I look, or affect my physical form, I guess, in a way, if someone were to try and carry out such an attack from offline to in the real world, which has happened. I am anxious as hell every time I post or say something with my opinion online, because I know what I am risking when I do so. Even if I can't change the fear or the causes of it, I want to push through it, because to be silent is to be complicit, and I won't allow myself to be complicit.
Hello, I am Scientist Mel, and I want to talk for a moment about what it's like to be a woman on the internet. Well, it kind of runs the gambit. I get individuals messaging me who see my presence as a romantic opportunity. So they'll slide into my DMs and I'll just let you use your imagination there. Others complain I am not a real scientist because I don't answer their questions to their personal satisfaction. I've had online stalkers, hate videos, character assassination attempts, and general online verbal abuse. I've had stereotypes placed on me on what a real woman should be, had my worth compared to baby making, cooking, all kinds of other gender normatives and stereotypes. Well, I have had experienced all of these things and continue to do so. I have also inspired little girls, other women, and educated the masses on women in STEM with their experiences, as well as their brilliance. I strive to rise above the vitriol, stereotypes, and hatred many have used and to try to bring me down. With all of the ugly I have experienced, the positivity of private messages from others, engagement from marginalized groups, support from those who want to learn from me, this has vastly outweighed the hate. I am here to stay, and I am grateful you are here with me, learning and growing. This is why I'm here, and this is what matters. So I'm going to focus on what matters. Thank you for being here.
I'm going to do my best to share with you what my experience has been like so far being a woman with an opinion on the internet. So I would like to preface this by saying I am really glad that I made the decision to finally start speaking out about my atheism, criticizing other religions and cults, and I'm even going to start entering some other categories that I'm skeptical about, like beauty standards, MLMs, all kinds of stuff. But regardless, I felt that the skeptic community and atheist community on YouTube was very underrepresented by non-cis males, and I wanted to be part of that, so I'm really glad that I am. Having said that, I knew going into this that there would definitely be some repercussions, not necessarily in any kind of big scary way, knock on head. I knew even just saying the word atheism would lead to some backlash. I think a lot of what I'm about to say can apply to any gender, not just women, but perhaps it's been worse for me because I'm a woman. So something that happens every so often is I get very long-winded and condescending comments. In the beginning of my channel, when I started making the more atheist type of videos, I would get those long-winded condescending comments, and I would feel the need to defend myself or better explain my position. And in so doing, in the YouTube comments, it would often lead to a back and forth, and the person would get even more condescending. I remember one person in particular kept saying things like, okay, let me break this down for you in a way that you might understand. And right after he said that, I was like, you know what, you're coming right out of the gate with a whole bunch of condescension and head patting, and I'm just not here for it. So I just ended that conversation. Something else that happens quite a bit is I will get people DMing me, you know, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram, YouTube, whatever, offering me business proposals. Like there's one guy, I'm pretty sure he's like 10 years my junior, who continually messages me like at least once a month saying, hey, I want to meet you, I have my own channel, I can help you grow your channel, let's meet in person, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't even know if he lives in this country. So that happens quite a bit because, you know, women don't know what they're doing on the internet and they're helpless and they need the help of little boys, I guess. And then the other thing is occasionally I will get the flirty message. There was one dude who literally asked if I would be his girlfriend, like nothing else, was just like, I need a girlfriend, be my girlfriend. And yeah, I don't respond to those messages, but it's pretty gross and creepy. Yeah, other than the condescension and, you know, the name calling for being an atheist in general, There hasn't been too much stuff that's been super crazy yet, but I definitely do see a lot of other ladies on YouTube and even other genders struggle. Having said all of that, I'm learning that the best thing in these kinds of situations is to just maintain integrity, continue to speak out about what's important to me, whether that's sharing my story, my deconversion story, sharing funny stories, critiquing other religions. All of this, I think, will continue to be important in a religion-dominated world and in a gullible world, especially in the United States. Women and other non-cis male genders need to continue to be represented and to represent on YouTube and other internet platforms. At the end of the day, if you're going to be a human being with an opinion on the internet, you have to understand that not everyone's going to like you, you're going to get some pushback, and you have to keep yourself safe, make sure that no one can find your personal information or try to dox you, things like that. But after all of that is said and done, you're covering your bases to make sure that you're safe. You just have to keep going. You have to do what you love, you have to share the things that are important to you, and that's what matters. Thank you for making this video. I'm really excited to see how it turns out, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Being a woman with an opinion in general can have its interesting moments, but that's elevated online where people can just hide behind their keyboards. I don't have to be a person to them. I can just be an image on a screen. And that goes for anyone. It's terrifyingly easy to dehumanize someone online. My experience with YouTube has overall been a pretty positive one. There's a spider right there, and he is very distracting. I'm sorry. I expected much worse, but I've been able to surround myself with wonderful, supportive people, including you, BMillzebub. There have, however, been times where I felt like my gender or my sex got in the way of what really matters. I've gotten some suggestive comments. I've gotten people who try to slut-shame me. The problem with that, of course, being that I don't care if I'm a slut by your standard. I really just don't. I've been a slut my whole life. I'm going to keep being a slut. Right now, I'm just a slut for exactly one person. Sorry, bit of a tangent there. My point is, I don't mind complimentary comments. I don't even care that much when people are rude to me online or objectify me a bit. I knew it would happen when I started this channel. But that doesn't make it okay. Not in the slightest. It just makes it a little bit easier to cope with. I do, however, care that people's prejudgments of me will get in the way of them understanding my intended message. But I guess there's some people you're just never really going to be able to get through to.
Hi, my name is Katie Ford, aka Freckled Hobo, aka the best person you'll ever meet online. Just kidding. In all seriousness, Bub has asked me to come here today to talk a little bit about the internet and women. And as most things, there's pros and there are cons. And in this case, there are many, many cons. I wanted to specifically talk about a platform where I met Bub. It is a live broadcasting site called YouNow. YouNow was one of the first things I started actually promoting myself on as a social media person or an actor or a live broadcaster. I started on YouNow, and that's kind of where it all began. When I met Bub, I was very new. I didn't really know how to deal with weird comments. I didn't know what would happen with weird fans. I just kind of was a baby and starting, and him along with a few others, Chris and Del, Brandon, Julie, Nick, just a bunch of other people kind of had my back from the beginning, and now I call them my OGs, and I consider them all very close friends. But before that, I had to deal with all kinds of weird things. People asking weird comments, asking me and suggesting me to do weird things, including sexual things. People would slide into my DM, say, I saw you on YouNow, you want to make a couple extra bucks? And I'm guessing you can tell what they were asking me to do. Or maybe not, and honey, you don't need to know. Well, on YouNow, everything is monitored. From what the broadcaster does, to what the broadcaster says, to what the comments towards you are allowed to say. Unfortunately, I have kind of drawn away from YouNow a little bit and moved on to a site called Bigo. That's B-I-G-O. Bigo is a little different. Bigo, sure, the only thing that's monitored is what I do. What I wear, what I say, what I do is monitored, but not the comments, not the pictures, not the messages. So any thirsty boy can come in and leave any comment that he wants, even if I don't want to see it. They talk about their members downstairs, They ask me all sorts of questions like, do the carpets match the drapes? Are you married? Can you open your boobs? Spread your legs? What's another one? My least favorite, of course. Can I see your feet? Now, I don't knock any foot fetishes, but no, you may not see my feet. Yes, I am single. No, we are not getting married. You may not know if the carpets match the drapes. These are things that you don't need to know. They're personal, and I don't understand why guys feel the need to know this information. I've learned to not let it get under my skin. I've learned to let the comments about my appearance and the comments about my relationship just kind of go to the wind. Thankfully, I have a few admins on Bigo, so Christopher, Asher, Andrew, love you guys. They are the ones who mute the people who give me crude comments. Most of the feet people, a lot of the married people, and other people who basically tell me I would like to spit in your face. And I don't know if that's a sexual thing or just a thing in general. Either way, it's not something you should say to a lady. Now, one last thing I want to talk about. When you're online and you feel the need to tell someone that she's pretty, don't say anything about her body. Yes, it would be a compliment coming from someone we actually want to hear it from. But as a stranger, we don't want to hear that from you. All we can think about is, that mystery person, male or female. I'm not going to be a weird person and put you in a bubble. But I don't want them thinking of me in the nude. I don't want them thinking of me in that light. That's not what I'm about. Instead, do a comment about their personality. Do a comment about something positively that they add to the world. Tell them their freckles are cute. Tell them their eyes sparkle and you love it when they smile. Don't say, girl, that ass looks great. Don't say, ooh, I like to eat some chicken off that booty. Girl, Be respectful. That's all we ask. It's hard enough being a girl on the internet. Why do you want to make it even more difficult? There's too much negativity in this world to be the negative force. Be positive, be respectful, and bring more girls online. Don't comment about our looks. Don't comment about our clothes. Just be a friend. Also, you should definitely follow Bub on everything. Sub him and give him all the likes and the shares because he deserves it. He's a true, honest person, and he has never once been disrespectful to me online, which is another reason why I consider him a close online friend. Thanks, Bub. Bye, guys.